Vandeham
verse
Shri
43.
43. Okay. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Shakhan Vitamsha Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namah Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Tinamine Shri Krishna Leela Katane Sudaksham Aurajya Madhurya Gunay Sayuktam Varam Varanyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tam Sudasa Namami Hirandinam Bhakta Shiromanim Cha Shri Krishna Padabja Dhritai Karudhim Chaitanya Leelamrita Sarasaram Narayanam Tam Sudasa Namami Hare Krishna Sarvadam Asmade Guru Pad Padma Vitala Pravishta जगत गुरु श्री श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज जी के अभय चरणारविंदों में मैं मेरा अनंत कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम अर्पण करता हूँ। तदर उपस्थित रेड्डी पाक सन्यासी श्री श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत दंडी महाराज नाम निष्ठ संत श्री अनिरुद्ध दास प्रभु जी और समस्त वैष्णव के चरणों में मेरा यथार्थ दंडवत प्रणाम में अर्पण करता हूँ। So we are reading today the Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 shloka 43. I'll read the Sanskrit verse. उत्सन्न कुल धर्माणाम मनुष्याणाम जनार्दन नरके नियतं वासो भवतीत्यनुशुशुम् उत्सन्न कुल धर्माणाम मनुष्याणाम जनार्दन नरके नियतं वासो भवतीति अनुशुश्रुमा. Utsanna, divide of kula dharmanam, those who have the family traditions. Manushyanam, of such men. Janardana, O Janardan, Narake, in hell. Niyatam, always. Vasaha, residence. Bhavati becomes. Iti, thus. Anushishruma, I have heard from authorities. O Janardan, I heard that those who abolish their dynasties, dharma, suffer in hell for an unlimited period of time. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj also is discussing this verse in his Bhagavad Gita as it is. We'll read his purport also. And Utsanna Kula Dharmana Manushyanam Janardana Narake Niyatam Vaso Bhavatityam Shushva. Utsanna, spoiled. Kula Dharmanam, of those who have the family traditions. Excuse me, small cold. Manushyanam, of such men. Janardana, O Krishna. Narake, in hell. Niyatam, always. Vasa, residence. Bhavati, it so becomes. Iti, thus. Anushishruma, I heard by disciplic succession. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed will always in hell. Arjun bases his argument not on his own personal experience, but on what he has heard from the authorities. That is the way of receiving real knowledge. One cannot reach the real point of factual knowledge without being helped by the right person who is already established in that knowledge. There is a system in the Varnashram institution by which before death one has to undergo the process of atonement for his sinful activities. One who is always engaged in sinful activities must utilize the process of atonement called prayashchitta. Without doing so, one surely will be transferred to hellish planets to undergo miserable lives as a result of sinful activities. So this is actually what Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj is telling, that one who is always engaged in sinful activities must utilize the process of atonement called prayashchitta. So there are different prayashchittas that are mentioned in the scriptures, and like one type of prayashchitta is actually taking one morsel of food every day, then two morsels, three morsels, increasing then decreasing like this Chandrayana Vrata. As per the first day of the lunar cycle, the second day you take two morsels, and that is that. Then there is also Krucha, Tikrucha. But these atonements don't really cleanse the heart, and their sin, the propensity to sin remains in the heart. So Prayaschittani Chiranani Narayana Parangmukham Nishpunanti Rajendra Sura Kumbha Ivapaga. So basically in Bhagavatam also this verse has been quoted that Prayaschittani Chiranani Narayana Parangmukham Nishpunanti Rajendra Sura Kumbha Ivapaga. Sura Kumbha Ivapaga. So just like you take one pot which has liquor in it, and it cannot be purified even if you use the Ganges water. So the people whose hearts are actually so much attached to sinful activities, how many atonements they may do, again they will sin. So basically, the best type of atonement is chanting the holy name of Krishna. Like Srila Gurudev was telling that how Srila Jiva Goswami Pad, he wrote Harinamamrut Vyakaran. Because somehow or the other in Harinamamrut Vyakaran, he wrote some sutras, some aphorisms to teach us the Sanskrit grammar. Narayana Dudbhutoyam Bharat Karma Tatrado Chaturdashi Sarveshwara Ka Chata Tapa Harikamalani Ga Jada Dava Harigada Akaram Krishna Muchyate, like this. So many names of Krishna, Govinda, Vaman, Lakshmi, they are involved in this grammar. So when we recite this grammar, what happens? Our heart is cleansed. And we are atoned of all the sins and bhakti will come. So simply doing atonement will not work because that doesn't change the propensity. But chanting the holy name will help you. And Srila Gurudev said that even if someone is very sinful, he is also engaged in illicit sex with women, then that person also, even if he is surrendered to Krishna, then we should not criticize him. He will be corrected automatically by Guru and Krishna. So we should not criticize him. Apijeta Sudaracharu Bhajate Mamananyavad Sadhareva Samantavya Samyak Vyavasito Isa. But someone is sinning despite being a devotee, then we should keep safe distance from that devotee. But don't criticize him, because if he surrendered, somehow the other Guru and Krishna will purify him. So here you see that prayashchitta. So, for example, you have a bamboo forest and you cut the bamboo forest, then what will happen? The bamboo shoots will again grow. You are cutting and then bamboo shoots are again growing. But because there are roots are still present, understand? Even if you cut all the bamboos on the top, the roots are still there. So when the roots are there, what will happen? They will grow again. For example, I'll show you this picture on Google. These bamboo shoots. They are actually a delicacy in this eastern part of India, Nepal and all. You see, this is a bamboo shoot actually. Because underneath the root was intact. Although the entire bamboo forest was set to the fire, the root was intact. So first a shoot like this will come, and then the entire bamboo will again regrow. So unless unless your heart is rectified, how much atonement you may do, it will not work. So give up all types of atonement and just chant the holy name of Krishna, follow Ekadashi. Automatically your heart will be cleansed. Otherwise the bamboo forest will grow again. Like eucalyptus forest will grow again. Like in India, there is one particular tree called eucalyptus. This apparently came from Australia, and this tree is Sripad Dandivan is also aware of the downside of it. This eucalyptus tree grows like anything, and they make some medicine also out of it. Eucalyptus. It might be in your country also, but it's not actually. It's called Nilagiri actually. So this tree actually. This tree grows like anything and it draws water from the ground like anything. Then what happens that the other plants and trees in the vicinity don't get any water. So as a result, they starve. So this tree is very dangerous because it just keeps on drawing the water. Understand? And doesn't give any fruit. The leaves may be used for making some oils for cough and cold. I remember when I was a child, my mother used to sprinkle a few drops of eucalyptus oil in my handkerchief and used to tell me that smell it so that your cough will be in control. Now today I remember because I have cough and cold today. Uh, so, so the point I'm making is that you may burn down the whole eucalyptus forest, but because the roots are intact, it will grow again. You have to uproot the sinful tendencies, and that can be done by the holy name and holy name alone. Like Srila Gurudev, you are actually telling a nice story. You might have heard it. One time, Vibhishan is the younger brother of Ravana, the great demon king. And although Vibhishan was born in the demon family, he was a devotee. In India, actually, now there is a movement going on which looks down upon Brahmanas. They say that the Brahmanas try to control the lower classes and they are like that. But Gurudev said that Vishwamitra was born in a Kshatriya family, Matanga was born in a Shudra family, Shabari also in a Shudra family, Narad also in Shudra family, Vyasadeva himself was born in a Shudra family. So, where is the question? Uh, and Valmiki may be also a fallen Brahmana. So, Gurudev said that Hanuman monkey family, Prahlad demon family. So Gurudev said that people are born in any family, they can be devotees. There are so many great examples. Narad was not born in Brahmin family, born in Shudra family. Understand? So like this. So no question of in bhakti, there is no higher and lower based on birth. One who worships Krishna, one who has more devotion is superior. So Vibhishan, you see, was born in a demon family, but he was actually highly glorified. So once Vibhishan came to Srirangam, now you must be aware of the temple called Srirangam. Some devotees from Tirupati, they have visited the Srirangam temple today, Mahaprabhu Ramanjani and the disciples of Dandi Maharaj. They all Charu Krishna Prabhu Pujari. So in Srirangam, actually, the biggest temple in India is there. The Gopuram there is so phenomenal, so big. The Gopuram is the most wonderful thing of Srirangam temple. And you can see the Gopuram here, magnificent Gopuram. This is the Gopuram of Srirangam temple. If you type Srirangam, you'll see the biggest temple in the world. It's like very, very elaborate. So, the Srirangam temple, once Vibhishan came to worship Lord Ranganath, but underneath a chariot, one old man was crushed and died. So when old man crushed and died, everyone started beating Vibhishan. All the people, they gathered there and they cursed, they accused him, you killed that old man, and they started beating him. Now Vibhishan is very strong, he's a warrior, understand, younger brother of Ravana. And these are the people of maybe Kali Yuga trying to beat him. He could have beat them back. But he decided not to intervene. Uh, he said, I will not worry about it. I will simply tolerate. And he began to remember Ramchandra. He began to call out, Hey Ram, Hey Ram, Hey Ram. Then Ramchandra himself came there. And Ramchandra told that if you want to beat me, then you please beat me. But I am guilty. He is my devotee, so I take the blame of what he has done. So if you want to punish me, you can slap me or kick me, or you can beat me, but don't beat my devotee. So when Ram said like this, all the persons who had gathered there, they became very, very disturbed. They also became agitated and they felt embarrassed. They say, wait a minute. Ramchandra himself, how can we beat up our Lord? We are worshipping the Lord Ranganath, Ram, they are the same. Krishna, so how can we beat up our Supreme Lord? So they left Vibhishan alone. Understand? So this may happen. Devotee is surrendered, so Bhagavan will take care of the devotee. And there is actually one very wonderful in Srirangam temple. there is a very wonderful one hall which has very wonderful right in front of the temple. There's a very wonderful hall where nice architecture is there. I'll show you this architecture. You can really see the horses, amazing horses. How they have drawn these, monolithic stones. How they have carved the horses. They appear so realistic. The soldiers on their back and all. So amazing. The bell and chain they are drawn out of. They have carved out of stone. Understand? So the point I am making here is that uh, devotee is protected by Bhagwan himself. No need to worry about anything. Like Srila Gurudev was telling the story of Srila Bhaktiratha Sridhar Maharaj. Srila Bhaktiratha Sridhar Maharaj, he was such a great devotee. And once he came to the Chaitanya Math, and in Chaitanya Math he saw one brahmachari in white clad dhoti sitting underneath a jackfruit tree with his feet on the table and immersed in some deep contemplation. And many sannyasis, brahmacharis also coming and bow down to him, offering him sashtang dada pranam. Then Srila Bhaktiraksha Sridhar Maharaj inquired, that time his name was Ramananda. He inquired that who is this brahmachari, that even sannyasis is offering him pranam. Then he said, this is Vinod Bihari Brahmachari, he is the manager of the Chaitanya Math. Then he developed great respect for Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj was highly respected in Gaudiya Math because he had great Guru Nishtha. He had great Guru Nishtha. So here, without doing so, one surely will be transferred to hellish planets to undergo miserable lives as a result of sinful activities. So, if you don't undergo atonement, you'll go to hell. So, what we have to do is chant the holy name. But unfortunately, what happens that we don't have any taste for chanting the holy name. Syat Krishna Nama Charitati Sitapi Vidya Pittopataptara Sanasana Rochikanu Kintwadrat Anudinam Kanusaiva Jushta Satvi Bhavati Karmat Tadgata Mulahanti. So, everyone is affected by jaundice. And when you have jaundice, you'll see that everything you look at will appear yellow to you. Also, your eyes will become yellow, urine will be yellow, and also, your sweat also will be yellow, skin will become yellow. Jaundice is actually liver dysfunction. Previously, there was no medicine for jaundice, and actually, the only medicine was the rock candy. So you see that people who have jaundice, they have yellow eyes. You can see picture here, jaundice person. You see here, there's jaundice, yellow eyes. This is the characteristic of the yellow eyes. So we also have this disease of jaundice. Means we have this lack of taste for the holy name. The holy name is very sweet, but it appears bitter to us. Like a person who's having jaundice will see that rock candy is very, very bitter to him. But the only medicine for jaundice is you keep on sucking the rock candy. Understand? Now, in India, rock candy is available. In your country, also the rock candy may be available. Like you see that there are different colors. They make rock candies. Colorful rock candy they make. This is a lot of rock candies available. So if you keep on sucking on it, the jaundice is cured. Especially out of Dauji temple in Vrindavan, where Balram's temple is there in Dauji. So there actually rock candy is sold. This rock candy is excellent cure for jaundice. So Syat Krishna Nama Charitati Sitapi Vidya Pittopata Tasana Rochikanu Kintwadana Anulam Kanuseva Jushta Sadvi Bhavati Kramat Tadmulanti. So if you have no taste for chanting the holy name, what you do is simply keep on chanting the holy name. Just keep on chanting the holy name. Slowly taste will come. Because of our offenses and aparadhas, we don't have any taste for chanting the holy name. Understand? So now we have to force our mind to chant the holy name. Some of the other utter the names of Krishna and keep on chanting. Slowly, what will happen? You develop the taste. Once you have developed the taste, you'll Like, for example, Ruchi also in Madhuri Kadambini we are discussing that how Vastu Vaishishta Apekshani, Vastu Vaishishta Anapekshani Ruchi will come. First, like many people, they are very much attracted to the big temple. Big pujaris are there, very big brahmacharis who are Nashtik brahmacharis, whole life brahmacharis with big chicks, and they are bathing the Thakurji and they are chanting Shri Sukta, Purusha Sukta, and happily they are bathing the Thakurji. Then they say, oh, this bhakti is in this big temple. But if some poor devotee doesn't have anything, he has his little Gopal, Laddu Gopal, and he's bathing that Laddu Gopal with his tears and he's chanting the holy name. What is superior? Actually, better that you bathe your Laddu Gopal with your tears. That bhakti is superior, not so much shown. We see many big temples, they invite very good singers, professional singers, radio singers, then excellent dancers like Kuchipudi, Bharatanatyam dancers, professional film actresses, and then big Sankirtan is done. They are dancing, and there is so much crowd. There is no one can even properly stand there. But actually, bhakti is not absent there. It is only for show. Understand? So we don't want to undergo any show. We want to do actual bhakti. So now we'll read the next verse. Aho vatamahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yad rajya sukhena hantum swajanam udyata. Aho vatamahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yad rajya sukhalovena hantum swajanam udyata. Aho, alas, but how strange it is. Mahat, great. Papam, sins, kartum, to perform. Vyavasita have decided Vayam we, yet because Rajya Sukha Lovena, driven by greed for royal happiness, Antum, to kill Swajanam, kinsmen, Udyata, trying. Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Yeah, driven by selfish motives, one may be inclined to such sinful acts as the killing of one's own brothers, father, or mother. Hmm. There are many such instances in the history of the world, but Arjuna, being a saintly devotee of the Lord, is always conscious of moral principles and therefore takes care to avoid such activities. So now we read the Gurudev's purport. अहो बत महत्पापं कर्तुं व्यवसितावगं यद्राज्य सुख लोभेन हन्तुं स्वजनमुद्यता. Aho, alas, but how lamentable, vayam, we, vyavasita, being determined, kartum, to do, mahat, great, papam, sin, yat rajya sukha lovena, on account of greed for royal happiness, udyata, are prepared, hantum, to slay, swajana, our own skillsmen. Alas, how regrettable it is that we are determined to engage in this great sin. Driven by greed for royal happiness, we are prepared to slay our own skillsmen. So now Arjuna actually is not very happy. He doesn't want to kill his own relatives. And no one really wants to kill his own relatives, understand? Because it is very painful. Those we love, how can we kill them? And Arjuna is such a saintly devotee. How can he how can he want to kill his own relatives? Understand? So he is very reluctant and he is giving arguments to Krishna why I don't want to fight. And Krishna, he is inciting him to fight. Understand? And Krishna will not only incite him to fight, he will also ensure that he will protect the Pandavas from death. He will protect them from the enemies. This is Bhagwan's guarantee. So here, Manushya. So those are human beings, they have got family and family rituals. Kula dharma, jati dharma. Just like Chatur Varanam Maya Srushtam Guna Karma Vibhavasha. So there are actually, as per their qualities and their actions, the society is divided into four Varanas. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. So this is meant for the human beings. and not for the animals. Animals don't have this um, four varnas. Only the human beings are divided into four parts: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So, human society accepts this principle of varnashram dharma ordained by Krishna, the Supreme Lord. If he doesn't accept, then he is not considered among the human beings. One must accept varnashram dharma. So, those who don't follow varnashram dharma, they are as good as animals because they do not have any regular systematic principle how to live, how to be a human being. Um, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was talking to Raya Ramananda, Mahaprabhu inquired, what is the aim of life? Mahaprabhu inquired from Raya Ramananda, what is the aim of life? Tell me what is the Satya Sadhan Tattva. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 8.118, Sadhyan Sadhan, what is the aim of life? So, Sadhya means what for this human form of life you have got? What is the purpose of this human form of life? And that is called Sadhya, the goal of life. Everyone must have a goal of life. And the sadhan means the activity by which we can attain, we can achieve that goal of life. This is called Sadhya Sadhan. Now you look at the Darwin theory. They are giving some idea of progressive evolution. But he does not know what is the goal of life. Why this progress is there. Like Darwin is telling that we are monkeys, then we have become human beings. But why we have become human beings? Even if we accept his version, why we have become human beings, they don't know. So there, imagine from Padma Puran, Brahmavata Puran, everything has been explained. That Ashtamsa Chaturamsha Chaiva Jiva Jatishu Laksham Stan Jiva Jatishu. There are 8,400,000 types of Jiva Jati. 8,400,000 types of species are there. Understand? So this is explained in our scriptures. And how many species are there? 8,400,000 species of life are there. And the living entity is wandering in the cycle of transmigration of the soul. So Mr. Darwin, he might have taken some hints from Padma Puran or some Brahma Vivata Puran, but he could not explain properly why all these species exist. Why the living entities are wandering, he cannot understand. Darwin cannot understand. So why the living entity is wandering through so many species of life? Why the living entity is not fixed up? There must be some goal. Why we are wandering so many species? There must be some goal. What is he hankering for? What is the goal of life? That is sadhya. And the sadhya is actually love of God. Srila Gurudev was telling that a mother naturally loves the child. The mother may not be educated. I have seen in India that many mothers are unlettered. They never went to school. They are ignorant. But they know how to love the child very much. So there is no need of education. And in fact, I have seen those who are educated, they really are hurting their own relatives, wife and children. Educated people are hurting their relatives, mother and wife and children. And those who are uneducated, like a mother, they are loving the child. So what is the use of an education which teaches you not to love? The whole goal of the education should be to teach everyone how to love each other, how to love God, how to love our family. Understand? So this is not taught. So what is the goal of life? The love of God. It is the goal of life. So sadhana is by which we can achieve that goal of life. This sadhana is actually bhakti. So Rayaramanda quoted. So in this way, in today's you see that they talk like people talk like this. In my opinion, I think like this. This is nonsense. I think in this way. In my opinion, it is so and so. What is the use of your opinion? What is the use of your thinking? Nonsense. You simply follow the authority. You follow the authority. Your knowledge has no. So actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was asked by Prakashananda Saraswati, you are a sannyasi, you do not engage yourself in the study of Vedanta. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Kashi, he saw one staunch Mayavadi, Prakashananda Saraswati, who was leader of thousands of sannyasis. And he saw Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu was sannyasi, but he was not studying the Vedanta. Om Athato Brahma Jigyasa Om Om. He was not studying this sutra. He was simply chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Because sannyasi is always supposed to read Vedanta philosophy. Especially Mayavadi sannyasi is only reading Shadik Bhashya of Shankaracharya. Uh, so he asked Mahaprabhu that you are just a sentimental person. You are like a sentimental person. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, yes, my Guru Maharaj spiritual master saw me a full number one. He said, you are a full number one, you chant Hare Krishna mantra. Why you are doing this Vedanta Sutra? You have no qualification to study Vedanta Sutra. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it was known to Prakashananda Saraswati. He was a great learned scholar in his student life. So he is posing himself as a full number one. So this is the way. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was such a great scholar of Nyaya Shastra. No one could defeat him in Nyaya. Even a great Pandit like Keshav Kashmiri, who had the blessing of goddess of learning Saraswati, she could not even stand, he could not also stand before Mahaprabhu. Because goddess of learning Saraswati is also the maid servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What to speak of Keshav Kashmiri? So Keshav Kashmiri, Mahaprabhu told him to glorify the Ganges river. And then he said, tell me defects of one particular shloka in your composition. And Mahaprabhu pointed out 5 defects and 5 good qualities of his shloka. He was mesmerized, he was wonderstruck. What's going on? I composed the verses, 100 verses, so speedily. And he remembered one verse from this my composition, 100 compositions. And he pointed out the faults also. He asked Saraswati why I was bewildered, why I could not defeat Nimai Pandit. And Saraswati said, you are full number one. He is my husband. I could not come to help you before him. He is my master. How can I come before him? Please go and ask forgiveness to him. So Keshav Kashmiri is surrendered to Mahaprabhu. Understand? So, but Mahaprabhu is showing his humility. The devotee is like Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami also showing humility. What is Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami telling in Chaitanya? Purushera kita aite muise lageshta. I am the lower than the worm of the stool. This is what the humility. Jagai madai haite muise papishta. Jagai and Madai was taken. They were drunkards, woman hunters. They were very sinful. But Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami is telling that I am lower than the Jagai Madai. This is the humility. Like Gurudev also, I was listening to his lecture and he was telling that I have no good qualities. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj was so qualified, he had such good English. Then once he told one Sri Mangal Maharaj, Mangal Maharaj, who was from Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, maybe disciple of Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhava Swami Maharaj. So, and he was telling actually that Mangal Maharaj has excellent English. I think, I sometimes think when I will be able to speak like him, Gurudev was telling. But so Gurudev is showing so much humility. But so many people were attracted to him. So many people, Gurudev was telling that when so many devotees from ISKCON also were chanting 16 rounds, they began to chant 64 rounds by the association of Srila Gurudev. And Gurudev was mentioning this. He said there was actually one type of misconception was going on in circulation that one should not chant more than 16 rounds. If you chant more than 16 rounds, it's an offense to the Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj because he has told us to chant only 16 rounds. We should not chant 17 or 18 or 64 rounds. But Srila Gurudev said that no, the more you chant, better it is. You must do 1 lakh holy name. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada told, one who does not chant 1 lakh holy name, Krishna will not accept anything that person has offered. Understand? So we should try to do 64 rounds or even 100 rounds, no problem. So I am lower than the worm of the stool. Lagishta means lower, lowest. Jagai Madai haite muise papish. Jagai Madai they were drunkards, woman hunters. They were sinful. So Srila Gurudev also has humility. He says, I have no good quality. But actually Gurudev had all the good qualities. So Chaitanya Charitamrita Kar says that Jagai Madai haite muise papish. No one should think that I have become very big man and I have an opinion to give. This is actually, Sai Maharaj said, this is rascaldom. This is rascaldom. So we should be, the really learned persons, they are humble and meek. Understand? Those who are really learned, they are very, very humble and meek like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Pranadapi Suni Jana Tarorapi Saishtuna. Amanina Mardina Kirtanya Sadahari. No one should think that I have learned everything. I can surpass everyone. I am above all rules and regulations. Now I have become Paramahamsa. This is Raskanta. Understand? So, like Shipa Dandi Maharaj, you see that he is such a senior devotee, but he diligently comes for a Mangalar. He follows Ekadashi night Kirtan, he stays awake. Then Sripad Dandi Maharaj always chanting the holy name. He is also serving the cows, helping the people, studying the scriptures. Now, he is actually so qualified, he knows all the scriptures, but always he asking me, Maharaj, what is the meaning of this word in Hindi? Because Hindi is not his mother tongue. And I know, man, I somehow I translated many books, so some Hindi stuck to me. But Maharaj diligently asked me this, what is the meaning of this word? Sometimes the words are so difficult, I have to look in the dictionary to answer his question. But because he is such difficult, but he studies very, very complex books of our Acharyas, Sripad Gandhi Maharaj, even this age. Even I sometimes cannot answer what is the meaning of this Sanskrit word, that Hindi word like this, because these are very, very difficult words. Sometimes Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, they use some difficult words, understand. So, Maharaj, Sripad Gandhi Maharaj, such a senior devotee, but always studying the scriptures. He is very attached to study of the scriptures. He is showing by his example that he is very, very humble and very, very advanced devotee. So here Arjuna also says that Narake Niyatam Vaso Bhavati Anushushuma. Krishna heard it from authority source. He never says, Krishna, in my opinion, if it is done like that, then people will go to hell. So what is Arjuna is telling that if uh, my opinion it is, I hear from the authority and I heard like this. This is called parampara system. One should not give one's opinion. Understand? One should quote authoritative statement to support his proposition. So similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, what is the aim of life and how to achieve it? And Ramananda Rai did not give his own opinion. That is my opinion. But he quoted another verse. What was the verse he quoted? Varnashrama acharvata pumsam vishwaksena parasita. So, serving Lord Vishnu, for following the Varnashrama dharma and serving Lord Vishnu, this is the goal of life. So this was the beginning of the conversation between Rai Ramananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, following the Varnashram Dharma. Understand? So Rai Ramananda also quoted a verse from Vishnu Puran. So, just like as we are citizens, what is our duty? We want to satisfy the authority, the government. And when one serves the government nicely in this country, he is recognized as knight. He is recognized as our lord, as so many they got title. Every country, when a person is very exalted citizen, that is recognized by the government. Like this, a lord, a knight, some title they are given. In India also, they give Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, Bharat Ratna. If you satisfy the government, they give you some title. So in ordinary life, that is the thing. But our aim and object is not to satisfy any particular state government or central government or country's government. But our aim and object is to satisfy the supreme governor, the governor of all governors, and that is Krishna. This is very common sense, understand? So like we are trying to satisfy the country and we get some title, some designation. So we try to satisfy Krishna, then we are known as a devotee, a pure devotee. So there are so many kingdoms, like United Kingdom, England, Australia, Europe, Ireland, New Zealand, Finland, Greenland, South Africa, Commonwealth countries. But this is only one planet. There are so many such planets like Earth planet. And each planet there is a government, there is an authority. But above all these authorities, there is a supreme authority, and that is Krishna. Ishvara Paramaha Krishna Satchid Ananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karanaka Dhamma Samhita 5.1. So this is the Shastric injunction. Understand? There are many, many controllers. In this planet there is a controller. There is another planet, another planet. When Brahma is the controller of the whole universe. Brahma is controlling this universe, four-headed Brahma. So, like our government has, there is one department. Like there is a department of roadways and transportation. So, Nitin Gadkari is the minister. Home Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh is the Home Minister, is the Defense Minister. Home Minister is our Amit Shahji. So like this. So Bhagwan also has many many departments. Understand? And he has appointed many many ministers, many demigods to run those departments. But Krishna is the supreme proprietor. Sarva Loka Bhayaktaro. And he has got many secretaries, assistants. They are called Brahma. Understand? So Brahma is the secretary or assistant of Krishna. Brahma is in charge of one particular planet. Like in India also, we have the federal structure. Narendra Modi is the in charge of entire country. But then, if it is Andhra Pradesh, then there is a minister, chief minister, Jagmohan Reddy. Then also there is Telangana, then there is some Chandrasekhar Rao. Like this, they are heads underneath Modi. Modi is the supreme leader. So like that, Krishna is the supreme leader, and Brahma is in charge of one particular Brahmanda. And there are millions of Brahmas, and millions and trillions of Brahmas. There are numberless Brahmas. And Yasya Prabha Prabhoto Jagadanda Kotishva Shesha Vasudhan Bhuti Bindam Tad Brahma Nishkala Manantam Ashesha Bhutam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajan. Koti means unlimited, billions. And Jagad Anda means universe. Brahmanda or Jagadanda. So Anda means it is egg-shaped, round. So it is called Anda, Brahmanda. So basically the universe which we are living in is like egg-shaped. Egg-shaped is actually, I don't know, in geometry it may be called elliptoid. Elliptoid or something, if I'm not wrong. Maybe it's long time I've been studying trigonometry. But basically it's shape of an egg, in simple language. So, Bhugola. Gola means round. We are living in a Bhugola. Round ball actually. But actually the people were under the impression that this world is square. People were thinking this world is square or flat. Flat. But in the Veda Shastra, millions of years ago, it is mentioned Bhugola. Gola means round. Just see. So these rascals say that formerly people were not so intelligent. They are intelligent because they are thinking this world is flat. And those who have spoken millions of years ago, it is round, they will have less intelligence. Just see Bhugola. Bhugola means round. Similarly, Jagadanda. Anda means round, just like an egg. Anda means egg. Understand? So this universe is egg-shaped. And we can see also the sky is round. And this is the wall of the universe. So, anyway, uh, so as we are here in this small government, our business is to satisfy the governor. Who's the governor? Krishna. Suppose you are in England and if you decry the queen, if you say publicly in a meeting that queen is a prostitute, then what will be? Immediately you will be arrested and punished. In your private house you can say. Nobody will hear. But if you say such thing nonsense in public, immediately you will be criminal. Therefore, your duty is to respect the queen, to abide by the orders of the government. That is your aim of good citizenship. What is the difference between good citizen and outlaws? The difference is the good citizen is always trying to satisfy the government by abiding the laws given by the government. Understand? So you see that you go to England and you say that the Queen Victoria or Queen Elizabeth is prostitute, they'll arrest you. Like in India. Like recently, one Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, Congress MP, he told Rashtrapati. Rashtrapati means the ruler of the country. There is Draupadi Murmu. She was from the tribal background. Very learned lady, actually, amazing lady. Her, I think, two sons died in accident, and her husband also died in accident. I don't know exactly background. But Narendra Modi government appointed as he got her elected as the Rashtrapati. She was a candidate of BJP. And Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary called her Rashtrapatni, wife of the nation, actually. This is actually, and then actually, this is not the correct word to use. If you really wanted to call her some name other than Rashtrapati, you call her Rajamata, Rashtra Bhagini, like this, Rashtra Kanya. No harm, you can say like this. Draupadi Murmu is the daughter of the India. She is the mother of India. Or you can call her sister of India. Why only wife of India? Wife of the country. Why should we call? You should look upon any woman as the, depending on your age. If she is younger to you, you should look upon her as daughter. If she is older than you, look as the mother. If she is same age as you, look as sister. Why? What is the problem? So Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary finally had to tender apology and the matter is settled now. So the point here is that you cannot say anything to the president or prime minister. I cannot criticize Narendra Modi ji. I will be arrested immediately. Understand? So there are some laws to follow, and there is also the laws to follow in Krishna's kingdom also. You cannot criticize Bhagwan or his pure devotees. It is an offense. So Vishnu Aradhyate. How to satisfy Krishna? Vishnu Aradhyate Pumsa Nanyastat Tosha Karanam. So basically, we have to serve Vishnu and follow Varnashram Dharma. This is what is quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 8.58. That we should worship Vishnu and follow Varnashram Dharma. Those who have time, I think they should definitely study this Raya Ramanand Samvad. I'm pretty sure they'll benefit by that. It's an amazing conversation. It is the essence of all the scriptures in the world. Srila Gurudev gave many lectures on Raya Ramanand Samvad. Varnashrama Vata Purishena Parapuman Vishnu Aradhyate Panta Nanyattattu Shakaranam. Here it is told that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, is worshipped by the proper execution of prescribed duties in the system of Varna and Ashram. There is no other way to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One must be situated in the institution of the four Varnas and Ashramas. This is from the quotation from Vishnu Puran. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has stated in Amrit Prabha Bhashya that the purport is that one can realize life's perfection only simply by satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we have to simply satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Understand? So how to worship Vishnu? People don't know that nothing vidu sartha gati mi Vishnu. Durasaya bhairartha malina. Anda yathandar. So they don't know that service to Vishnu is the real selfishness, the real benefit of the soul. So, for example, just suppose in an office, your immediate boss, some superintendent of the office, you follow his orders, although he is not the final. Above the superintendent of the office, there is another secretary. Above the secretary, there is another director. Above the director, there is another managing director. So these are common sense things. Similarly, there are many controllers, but the supreme controller is Krishna. Like in a hierarchical structure in a corporate world, you will see a manager, assistant manager, chief manager, director, chairman, like this board. Understand? So like this, Krishna also has the organizational chart here. But Krishna is the supreme controller. So this is Vaishnavism. One who wants to satisfy Vishnu is called Vaishnava. What is the definition of Vaishnava? One who wants to satisfy Lord Vishnu is Vaishnava. Vishnu means the Supreme Lord. Everything is arranged to satisfy Lord Vishnu. So where from it begins? The cats and dogs, they can be trained up for satisfying Vishnu? No. There is no possibility. They are dogs, animals, they are simply busy with four principles of life. Eating, sleeping, sex, life and defending. That's all. They cannot be trained up. You become very obedient to Lord Vishnu. Become a devotee. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj is telling that don't be cats and dogs. Varnashram Dharma means now you are trying to be a human being, trying to satisfy Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita also said, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit etati siddhayashta. Out of thousands of men, one endeavors for perfection, actually. So, Utsanna Kula Dharmana Manushyanam Janardana. So, human life has got a great responsibility. If you become like cats and dogs, the hippies, then Utsanna, everything is destroyed. Utsanna Kula Dharma means like becoming hippies. Like hippies were lying naked here and there, smoking, having illicit sex. So that they were Utsanna Kula Dharma. They had given up their values. They didn't care for any rules and regulations. So, Jaganya Guna Vrittista, Bhagavad Gita 14.18, that no family life, no taking bath, no worship, nothing, all irresponsible. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj is telling that in Amsterdam he has seen that. There was actually one park where Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj went. The park was called Wondel Park. Uh, and here, horrible. So Arjuna had spoken this 5,000 years ago. Utsanna Kula Dharma. People will give up their family traditions. And now, when Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj came to the Western world, he could see the hippies in Amsterdam, Holland, and England, and Europe, and America especially. They had no family life. So we have to understand our position, and we should try to satisfy Lord Vishnu. This is the whole plan. So Rai Ramananda quoted this verse from Vishnu Puran that Varnashrama Acharavata Purushena Parapuman Vishnu Aradhate Panta Nanyat Toshakara. Our aim is to always satisfy Vishnu. To become Brahmana is also a lower status. You will hear from Chaitanya Charitamrita that our Madhavendra Puri, he was installing deities. So there are many Brahmanas, caste Brahmanas born in. So in order to give charge of worship to these Brahmanas, he initiated them to become Vaishnava. Understand? Because without becoming Vaishnava, nobody has got the right to worship Vishnu. So like Madhavendra Puri installed the deities of Gopal, but many Brahmanas wanted to serve the deity, but he gave them initiation in Vaishnavism. You are born in Brahmin family. Like Srila Gurudev also was born in Brahmin family. Srila Bhakti Rakshit Chudra Maharaj also born in Brahmin family. Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj born in Brahmin family. Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj born in Brahmin family. Srila Bhakti Hridaya Maharaj also born in Brahmin family. But all of them, they took initiation from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada or Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. Then only they were accepted as Vaishnavas. Without taking initiation, no one can be considered a Vaishnava. Understand? So our Gurudev was born in Brahmin family. He took initiation from Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. So what to speak of us? Understand? Like Gurudev said that when I was going to Navadvip Parikrama, they did not let me serve Prasadam. But no, you are not initiated. On Gaura Purnima, they will be initiated, then you will be able to serve the Prasadam. When Gurudev said, I am born in Brahmin family, they said, yes, but still you have to take first initiation. Then Gurudev was initiated for Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj is given the name Gaur Das. And then Srila Gurudev was qualified to serve the Vaishnavas. Understand? Now, obviously, Gurudev is a Nitya Siddha Vaishnava. He is enacting this pastime of taking initiation and all. But still, he followed this system. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also took initiation. But he, although is Bhagavan, no need for him to take initiation. But he still showed us that, yes, you must take initiation in the bona fide Sampradaya. He accepted Madhva Sampradaya. He did not create his own Sampradaya. He accepted the guidance of Madhvacharya and Madhavendra Puri. Understand? And Ishwar Puri. So because without becoming a Vaishnava, no one has got right to worship Vishnu. Vishnu will not accept anything from anyone unless he is a devotee. And Vishnu is poverty-stricken. That he has come to take from you. He cannot eat. He has no eating means no. He agrees to accept our offering just on the basis of love. Understand? Don't think that in Lord Vishnu is not getting any food in Vaikuntha, or Krishna is not getting any food in Golok Vrindavan, that his Radha is not feeding him enough, he's hungry, he's coming to your house to accept your food. No. He's just coming to your house to accept your love. So Vaishnava loves Vishnu, and Vishnu agrees to accept any food. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti apavrutam ashnami prayatatma. If they offer me fruit, flower, leaf, I accept that. So bhakti is main thing, not your palatable dish. Bhagavan is telling bhaktya prayachati. You may have created nice paneer sabji and parotha, but if there is no bhakti, how will Bhagavan accept it? So that's why very important to chant 1 lakh holy name. Srila Prabhu, Srila Gurudev also told, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati also told, chant more. No harm, even if you are chanting 1 round, you are blessed. But better to chant more. Understand? That bhakti is main thing, not your palatable dish. Vishnu is quite competent to prepare 1,000 times better palatable dishes than you can offer. So the real thing is bhakti. Understand? Now for Vishnu, what is difficult for him? Understand? For us, very difficult to purchase nuts. Like when I go to market, actually, many nuts, I just look at them and I said, wow, these nuts are so expensive. Understand? But then I was going to Hawaii and I saw there were big nuts like macadamia. They're simply lying on the street. Those who are not gone to Hawaii, I want to show you the macadamia. Big nut, understand? This big nut just falling on the street. The street is twirled with the macadamia. Just lift them and eat them. I should take out the shell. Shell is also not very hard, and you just eat these macadamia nuts. Understand? So when I was in Hawaii, I saw that there were so many breadfruit. Breadfruit was such a tasteful fruit, and Bhagavan has created so many fruit for us, so he cannot serve himself. Does he have no food? Why should he demand food from us? Only for love and love's sake, he is demanding this fruit from us. Understand? So every region has some special fruit. For example, this is the breadfruit. You just roast it on fire and you can eat it. It tastes like bread. Understand? Wonderful fruit. So, and I see so many mangoes were strewn on the street. When I went to Malaysia, I got to see very many nice fruit. But one particular fruit was durian. That I could not. Uh, uh, that I could not get because it was not the season. But they say that you either love it or you hate it. Means Shri Padmanabh Maharaj actually likes it. He likes it very much. But some people durian, and some people don't like it. Fruit actually. If I go at all again to Malaysia, I would love to have this prasad of durian. It is the durian fruit actually. They are not allowed to travel with it on the airplane because it smells. Some people are very much allergic to that smell. Understand? So they don't. So durian. So not Bhagwan has lacking anything. He's giving so many fruit to us. His external energy. Is he short of any food stuff or anything like that? Nothing. So here Srila Bhaktivedanta Sai Maharaj is giving an explanation that Bhagwan is taking everything out of love. Yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti apurtam ashnami prayatatma. Understand? We should have love and affection in your heart. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavan vas tati tatva. So here, the scriptural orders, brahmacharya, grasta, vanaprastha and sannyas are called ashrama. If one executes his prescribed duty in both the social and spiritual orders, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is satisfied. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is satisfied. If one neglects his duty, however, he becomes a transgressor and a candidate for hellish condition. Means you have to follow the duty. Like sannyasi cannot fall down, cannot associate with the woman. Brahmachari, vanaprastha also cannot associate with the woman. Grasta can associate with his wife in a regulated manner, no harm. So all of them, they follow their dharma. Otherwise, they are become offenders. Understand? And they will suffer hellish consequences. Actually, we see the different people are engaged in different ways. Therefore, there must be divisions according to one. Attain perfection, one must make devotional service the center of life. In this way, one can awaken his natural instincts by work, association, and education. Like many times, I go for collecting donations to the shops, and the shopkeepers are generally waiting for customers because that is how they make their livelihood. But they are waiting for a long time, means from morning 9 to evening 9, they are waiting there for customers and they serve the customers. But I tell them that you are collecting money from the customers, you are selling them food, no harm. But your time is far more valuable than the profit you are making. Your time is, a lot of your time is wasted simply waiting for the customer. That time, don't waste your time. Read Bhagavad Gita as it is, or Gurudev's Bhagavad Gita, and chant Hare Krishna mantra. You should read scriptures or chant Hare Krishna mantra. Don't waste your time because your time is gone. You one day will become old. Then you will have to leave your shop also. So unless this system is introduced, human activities cannot be systematically executed. So Brahmanas are the intellectuals who can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are always engaged in the cultivation of knowledge. It does not matter whether one is born in India or outside India. Those who are naturally very heroic and who tend to rule over others Shudras are called Kshatriyas. Understand? So, like you see that many times these Caucasians, white Americans, and they are very much like Kshatriya spirit. They always like to rule and very heroic. So they are like Kshatriya nature is there, and there are some devotees from different parts of the world, different races. They have Brahminical qualities, so they can be initiated in the Brahminical fold and be made into perfect Vaishnavas, to serve the deities or give classes on Bhagavad Gita and educate others about bhakti. Understand? So our society, especially Gaudiya Math and ISKCON, is to make the Vaishnavas, who are the real Brahmanas, understand, and uh, bring about a change in the consciousness of the people, uplift their consciousness, and surcharge their hearts with the love of God. Understand? So those who tend to produce food by agricultural methods, protect cows and other animals, and engage in trade are called Vaishyas or merchants. These are everywhere. Like, don't think that Vaishyas are only in India, Johannesburg or Durban. I've seen Indians are very prosperous. They have shops. Like I have seen in America also, Indians, wherever they go, Patels, Gujarati Shah, and Marwadis, they open a shop. Hmm. Every part of India, Marwadis and Gujaratis have a shop. Understand? So they are Vaishya community. Basically, they are Vaishya tendencies. That is also a very valid way of living a life. But everyone must do bhakti. And those who are not sufficiently intelligent to be Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, or Vaishyas are required to serve a master and called Shudra. Now there is a problem with this statement. A lot of people object to this. Why we should serve others? So Srila Gurudev is telling that Shudras are advised to serve Brahmanas and other classes because by association of the Vaishnavas and Brahmanas, they will also make advancement. The reason they are advised to serve, because as they serve, they will get good association. And by their association, even if they are Shudras, the lowest type, they will be uplifted and their consciousness will go higher. Understand? So thus everyone can engage in the service of the Lord and awaken his natural Krishna consciousness. If a society does not function according to such natural divisions, the society, the social order becomes degraded. The conclusion is that by the scientific method of Varnashram Dharma should be adopted by the society. Srila Gurudev also told us, if you follow Varnashram Dharma properly, then you will be qualified to do bhakti. Understand? Although bhakti is independent of everything, but still it is better to follow this Varnashram system. So we are stopping here now today. The verse number 44 we completed. Next time, verse number 1.45. Yadi mam apratikaram ashastram shastrapanaya bharatrashtarani hanyastan vikshemataram bhavet. Actually, a very wonderful verse by Shri Arjuna. This verse actually we'll discuss next time. One time, Ashwathama, the son of Dronacharya, when Ashwathama was made the general of the Kaurava army, he released one weapon called Narayanastra. So the Gurudev was telling the story. This Narayanastra has you cannot defend it against it. You cannot fight it and you cannot defend against it. The only way to be saved from the influence of Narayanastra is just fold your hands and bow down to Narayanastra, dropping on the ground flat in Dandot Pranam. And if you do like this, drop all your weapons, take off all your armor and everything, and just lie down on the flat on the ground with folded hands. That, oh Lord, you are Narayan, is Narayan himself, please don't harm us, and you'll be saved. But Bhima, he didn't want to bow down before Narayanastra. He said, my enemy Duryodhana is before me, why should I bow down to there? And then Narayan is Narayan, so Narayan will protect me because Krishna is also Narayan. So in this way, Bhima, he didn't drop his weapons. So Narayanastra attacked Bhima. And somehow the other Krishna made him drop on the ground, and Bhima was saved from the impact of Narayanastra. Understand? So like this, Bhagavan has helped his devotees like Bhima and Arjuna. They are devotees of Krishna. They are very, very dear to Krishna. And this song of God is also explained to Arjuna. So we'll carry on our study of Bhagavad Gita. Vancha kalpataru vaishya kripa sindhu bhayocha paridhanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Params. Thank you for such a beautiful. Hope you get better, Maharaj.
No, no, I'm better actually. I took some maybe little more lemon. That's maybe some diet. I'm okay now. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Nangamon, please recite the Jai Divani prayer. Thank you.
Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Radha Vinod Bihari Ki Jai. Om Vishnu Pada Stotra Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Vranda Vishnu Giti Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Vishnu Pada Stotra Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Dandi Goswami Maharaj Ki
Jai
Jai.
Jai.
नित्यलीला प्रविष्टा ओम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज की
Jai
जय।
Jai.
नित्यलीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय।
Jai Jai.
नित्यलीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज की जय।
Jai Jai
नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद्भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय।
Jai Jai.
नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai Jai.
नित्यलील प्रविष्ट परम भगवत प्रभार श्री श्रील गौर किशोर दास बाबाजी महाराज की
Jai
जय।
Jai.
नित्यलील प्रविष्ट श्री श्रील सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय।
Jai Jai.
नित्यलील प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री श्रील जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जय।
Jai Jai.
श्री गौर वेदांत आचार्य श्री श्रील बलदेव विद्याभूषण प्रभु की जय।
Jai Jai.
श्रील विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय।
Jai
श्रील
Jai.
नरोत्तम श्रीनिवास श्यामानंद प्रभु त्रय की जय।
Jai Jai.
श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय।
Jai Jai.
रूप सनातन भात रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भात दास रघुनाथ सत गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय।
Jai Jai.
श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदादि श्री गौर प्रसाद वृंद की जय।
Jai Jai.
नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय।
Jai Jai.
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसति गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री अंतरद्वीप मायापुर सीमंत द्वीप गोद्रुम द्वीप मध्याद्वीप कोला द्वीप ऋतुद्वीप जानुद्वीप मोद्राद्रोण द्वीप रुदति पद्मकार श्री नवद्वीप धाम की जय।
Jai Jai.
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपा गोपी गोवर्धन द्वादश वनात्मका श्री ब्रजमंडल की जय।
Jai Jai.
श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गंगा यमुना तुलसी भक्ति देवी की
Jai
जय।
Jai.
श्रीमत विंद देवी की जय।
Jai
श्री
Jai.
पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री
Jai
गोपीश्वर महादेव की जय।
Jai.
श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र जीव की जय।
Jai Jai.
श्री श्वेत मंडल की जय। सर्व विघ्न विनाशकारी शनिशिमदेव की जय। भक्त प्रभात प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। चार धाम की जय। चार संप्रदाय की जय। चार आचार्य की जय। अकर्मत राज चैतन्य मात की जय। श्री श्री केशव विधि गौरनाथ ओ तत्सकमात समूहा की जय। ग्रंथ राज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। सामगान भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल।
Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you, sir. Hare Krishna. Dhanyavad.